Hello students, welcome to BioWise with Aanchal. Thank you for showing your support and subscribing the channel. Subscribe the channel and even you can put it in the comment section which topics video you want the next. Now today we are going to do the chapter Plant Physiology for Standard 10 ICSE, that is Transpiration. Now transpiration is an important chapter. Now in transpiration, stay till end to find out that what questions of transpirations were included in the board examination. Okay. Now for transpiration, first thing that you must know is the definition. Now what is transpiration? Transpiration is the loss of water in the form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plant. Is that clear? That is, in form of water vapor is important. Okay, so transpiration plays a very significant role in the plant. It helps in the ascent of sap that we have already studied in the last chapter. Now transpiration can be of three types. Okay, what are the different types of transpiration? You have stomata, so you have stomatal transpiration, you have cuticular transpiration, and you have lenticular transpiration. Okay. Now stomatal transpiration happens through stomata. Now how to draw the stomata? The link of the video is given in the description. Kindly go through the same and to understand how to draw the stomata in easy steps. This is the stomata. Okay. Now stomatal opening and closing depends upon two theories that we have to study. One is a potassium ion theory and one is a sugar concentration theory. Now according to the potassium ion theory, when there is photosynthesis happening in the guard cells, it generally produces ATP. With the increase in the ATP concentration in the guard cells, the potassium ions gets into the guard cells. That is, potassium ion starts entering the guard cells when ATP concentration is high. Okay. So now what happens is potassium ion concentration increases in the guard cells. The guard cells becomes hypertonic and water from the neighboring cells starts entering into the guard cells, making it turgid, and the stomata opens. Similarly, for the sugar theory, during photosynthesis, sugar is synthesized, glucose is synthesized. Increase in the glucose concentration in the guard cells increases the concentration of guard cells, that is making it hypertonic, and again water starts moving in the guard cells, making it fully turgid, and the stomata opens. At night, when there is no photosynthesis, in case of potassium ion theory, ATP concentration goes down, right? And in sugar theory, sugar gets used up. So again the concentration in the guard cells becomes hypotonic and water starts leaving the guard cells, making it flaccid. And once it is flaccid, the stomata closes. Now what is a cuticle? Cuticle is a waxy coating above the leaves. Now water is lost in the form of water vapor through the single cells of the leaves. Water can leave the leaves by the simple diffusion, and cuticle helps in that movement of water through the cuticle. So the cuticle is thin, transpirational rate will be high. If cuticle is thick, the transpirational rate will be low. That is a kind of adaptation required to reduce the rate of transpiration. Is that understood? And lenticels are the openings present in the old woody stems. These are open throughout day and night. So lenticular transpiration occurs throughout day and night. Stomata closes at night. You all know that, right? So before moving to the next part of the chapter, let me clear the board. Now next topic is the experiment based on transpiration. Now there is a very famous experiment of the bell jar that demonstrates the transpiration process. Okay, this is covered in a bell jar. Now this experiment is there since our 6th and 7th standard. Now when you put a plant, remember this part of the pot should be covered with the plastic sheet or the polythene bag, and the plant is kept in the sun. So there will be droplets of water present which says that the plant has transpired. So these are the water droplets. So what does these experiment demonstrate is to show that the plants transpire. Now in this question, in the exam, the question is asked that why is this pot covered with the polythene bag. Now to avoid any evaporation from the soil, this pot is covered. At the same time, we have a kind of paper which is called a cobalt chloride paper, which is used to detect the presence of moisture. Now when you talk about a cobalt chloride paper, generally the cobalt chloride paper is blue when it is dry and it turns pink when it absorbs moisture. So remember what is used? Cobalt chloride paper. Okay, cobalt chloride paper is used to detect the presence of moisture. So if moisture is present, the cobalt chloride paper is pink, and if the paper is dry, the cobalt chloride paper is blue in color. Will you remember? Cobalt chloride paper, blue when dry and pink when wet. Is that clear? Next experiment that we are going to talk about is the Genong spotometer experiment. You can see the diagram here how the Genong spotometer look like. Now in this Genong spotometer, it is poto, P-O-T-O, not photo. If it is photo, it becomes light. It is P-O-T-O. Okay. So in potometer, you can see a small plant is put into the container. Now this small plant does not live longer. Okay. So the reading may vary from place to place, from lab to lab, from weather to weather. And there is the question is generally asked about this Genong spotometer is about the precautions. So precaution is the twig does not stay longer, and even the entire compartment should be airtight. Air bubble introduction is very difficult. The result of transpiration experiment using Genong spotometer differs in every season. Reason is it depends upon the amount of water that is transpired depending upon the atmospheric condition. If it is highly humid or the temperature is too low, then the readings will be different. So for a hot weather, dry weather, humid weather, cold weather, in all the situations the reading is going to be different. And what does the Genong spotometer aim is to demonstrate the loss of water from the leaves, which is directly proportional to the uptake of water from the roots or the stem. Is that clear? So that is your Genong spotometer. Any doubt? Put it in the comment section. Yes. Now next, let me clear the board. Next we talk about the mechanism of stomatal transpiration. Now you all must be aware about the structure of a leaf, that you have a cuticle layer. Okay, you have a cuticle layer. After that you have the upper epidermis. You know that the leaf has lesser stomata, basically the dicots have lesser stomata on the upper surface of the leaf, and the high concentration of chlorophyll makes the upper surface dark green. Then this is followed by the rectangular cells which are called the palisade cells. Okay, the palisade cells. Now these palisade cells contains high amount of chlorophyll. These are the palisade cells. Okay, followed by the mesophyll cells. Mesophyll cells are irregular cells, and they are generally, they have gaps. Okay, they have gaps that tells us the presence of the substomatal space. This is the lower epidermis. So you have stomata here. Okay, this is the lower epidermis. Now children, I am not drawing the double layer, just to show you the structure. Okay, so you have again a stomata here, and you have the lower epidermis. So you have the lower epidermis. So this is your lower epidermis. This is your stomata. This is your mesophyll cells. Mesophyll cells, and this is your upper epidermis. This is your upper epidermis. Okay, now what happens? Through the xylem, the water enters into the cells. In these cells, photosynthesis happens. Now what happens? Even these cells, you have here also, in all these cells they contain chlorophyll, so they have photosynthesis. Water moves in the form of vapor in the substomatal space, from where it is released out by the process of transpiration. Now this follows the same rule of evaporation. Understood? Now evaporation of water depends upon certain factors. Those factors we are going to cover in the next video. So stay tuned for the next video where you get the factors affecting the rate of transpiration and important questions for the board examination. Happy learning, children.